Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Evercade podcast. We've got Pete, Rich, Crow, and myself. What's up?
Yo, yo, yo.
How's everybody doing?
We're busy.
Busy. Freaking tired. Cranky.
Uh-oh. It's been a long week.
I went to the dentist yesterday to get a cavity filled, and she told me, she surprised me with the fact, oh, you've got 3 cavities to fill. I'm like, son of a bitch.
Don't you just love that? It's like, man.
No.
And this was yesterday?
Yeah, it was yesterday. My mouth's still sore.
At least it wasn't this morning. That would be, you'd be in a better mood.
I wouldn't be here. I'd be curled up in a ball on my couch.
Right. See, Crow's doing some testing or making some.
No, I'm trying to beat this game.
Trying to beat it.
Don't do it.
I've been playing this I've been playing this for a couple days already. And I was like, I'm so close. I know I am.
Yeah, that game gets pretty tough. All right, and yeah, Rich is gonna do some testing of something to the VS.
I'm trying to test something,
But
but I don't know. I don't know how this one's supposed to work. I've got my Hyperkin. Oh yeah, controller. And I got sent to me from Hyperkin, and I'm like, oh sweet, does it work on the VS? So,
That's awesome.
Access says I'm abusing save states. Trust me, I like every game I've played on the Evercade, I abuse the save states.
Probably what you'll have to do is have like the real controller plugged into port 2, so you can go into the settings and then map it with.
I have to go down.
Yeah, let me see if we can do that.
Yeah,
it doesn't automatically recognize it.
Yeah. That's what happened to me when I like tried using the at-game stick. I had to But yeah, but that's so cool. I hope that works.
Well, let me see. So we go in here, and then what? We gotta go.
And then if it does, maybe you can get like a dongle and use it wirelessly if you want.
So what do we go? System, map, controller.
Yeah.
All right. Hold any button on the controller you want to configure.
Now be sure you hold the any button.
Yes. Hold any button.
Tech support joke.
It is.
Yeah, but I probably abuse the save states more than anybody else.
It is not.
Yeah, you put the carts through its paces.
Yeah, it is not responding.
Oh man.
No response.
Oh, no.
That's a sad face.
Oh no.
It happens.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Dang it! I can't play the Randy Savage. Oh yeah.
Right? Yeah. No. Oh yes. The OES controller on the VS.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. Is there a power button or something though?
Yeah, make sure that it's turned on because that's I made that mistake. Well, hey, while you're
Oh,
wait, you got it?
I gotta switch modes. I'm gonna be in BT mode instead of SW mode. And so then I select A.
Is that the controller you unboxed from Hypercan?
Yeah. So press and hold any button. Okay, cool. Now I can up, down, left, right.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess it's A, B, X, Y, L1, R1, L2, R2. Start. Select.
Yeah, wow.
Button. Save and apply. Back. Yeah, man.
Let me know. Does it work?
We got it, man.
It works. It works.
It's working.
It works.
Oh yeah!
That's right.
There we go. I'm like, that it can do the thing. That's
working
awesome.
just fine. So now I'm gonna start messing around.
Heck yeah, man.
What's the
I
benefit
love
of
those
that
different
controller?
modes. All right, let's go ahead and say hi to the chat, and we can dive into some awesomeness of different things. We have channel member Lloyd JRM. We have Jen Joke. We got Tuxo. We got Taz. We got Sucker MC. We got channel member Crash Line. We got Archive Gig. We got J South 5942. And wow, lots of channel members, which is great. Dan Nastic
Sweet.
in the house. Dubs 64. And last but not least, channel member Mr. Shua. Oh my goodness, we got lots of people here. All right. So there's like a little bit of news and things and stuff. And actually, I will credit this to Rich. And we talked about this a little bit like on Karg. And actually they have another article that I thought was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, actually I'll let if you want, Rich, I'll let you you start us off since
Oh, sure. Yeah. So I was reading up on some stuff on the old X, and apparently there was an interview that Time Extension did with Sean over at Blaze, and they wanted specifically to talk about the N64 announcement, and then they actually start mentioning Nintendo and N64 a lot in the interview, which is great. So that means that they're not necessarily shying away, maybe in public stuff, like in the like on the cartridge and in some of their other things. They're not going to mention Nintendo as a name, but in the interview they were talking specifically about this being, yes, this is the N64 version. They rebuilt from the original source code, and did some gymnastics to get it to work, which is pretty cool. So they added some cool things in the game. So it's not only is it just like a swap for taking away like license by and all that kind of stuff and putting in their own logos, but as we were talking about last week, someone was mentioning that Katie's in the game as well, which is kind of fun. So that's kind of cool. But the other thing a little further down in the interview was they were talking about like, well, hey, like you've got Glover, is there more? And then obviously the answer is, well, it all depends on licensing, right? And then they were like, well, what about things like Dreamcast? And the answer is, of course, very Sean. He says, never say never. But if the answer was definitively no, and they were never going to think about it, then I'm pretty sure they would have said no. Like, hey, it's not something we're looking at. It's not whatever. We're just not going to do it. This kind of opens the door to some more things. But that then speculated when we were talking about it on Karg. We were speculating that, hey, does this mean that eventually, in order to get this to run, are we going to need new hardware in order to do it? Or are they going to have some kind of like magic trickery in order to get that to work on existing hardware? And that's an interesting discussion. But it was also really cool that they were upfront and talking about that in an interview for a publication. So I thought the article was pretty interesting, and if it's out there, it's on X. The Evercade X account actually was sharing that information, so it's pretty easy to find. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I wasn't aware. I was like, I missed it, but yeah. So but the great thing, I'm glad that they confirmed, is that they had access to the source code, and that was one of those things that I was kind of saying, like, hey, if they have the source code, they can do anything. And so, yeah, I liked it that maybe could there be some certain Dreamcast games that they could do the tweaks and all that. And I like that they still use their hardware, because I think they can still push the Evercade hardware further to their limits instead of just like coming out with another console when they still have some things to work out with this one per se. So yeah, no, I thought that was neat. And then on that same page, they, I guess, kind of a follow up, but they were also talking about like, could the VS use like analog support and all that. So maybe we will get analog controllers. Maybe this will be the game to push that, even though they've done like tweaking and all. I think that would be really neat.
Yeah, you never know, right?
Yeah.
It also just so happens that the controller that I was testing, I'm glad it's working. At least the regular buttons and the mappings and all that work. But the other cool thing about it is it does have dual analog stick on the controller. So,
Oh, okay. I know which one you're using. Yeah.
You never know.
That is kind of true, Dan. But yeah, he does say never. He does say never, never say never. But
yeah, of course he does.
Yeah.
You know, but I would say that, you know, like on something that's big like that, you don't say never if you know it's not possible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's just not fair to the audience.
Yeah.
So
I think if somebody said, "Well, can I do PS5?" He'd be like, "No."
right, of course. You know, so and it's and then at least that's in my opinion too. Like, hey, you know, like people are people; they could say whatever they want.
Yeah.
At the same time, I'm like, well, you know, it would probably be nice if they didn't.
Yeah.
If it was really like never say never, then at least it's, you know, you get that meme. You're like, so you're saying there's a chance, right?
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't. I don't know if that's a meme. That's just Dumb and Dumber.
Right.
True. But at least it's good to know that it's a. I'm glad that Blaze is doing the smart thing, and they're putting their R&D into something like this, and still working on, instead of like, oh well, let's just release another console really quickly just so it could do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that they're still working with it. Maybe, you know, the stars will align and other companies will see, oh well, we have the source code for this other game in this system. Can you work the same magic?
Right.
And it's like, yeah. You know, I mean, like put this, like if Arcade 1-Up can you know, they can do like Killer Instinct, like on those like single boards and do some tweaks. And you know, that game is like pretty tricky to emulate. Then,
right.
This is nice for the possibilities.
Yeah, and it all depends on the help you get too, right? You know.
If
you get help along the way, and there's some people that are like really, you know, they're down with what you're doing. And you're like, oh yeah, absolutely, we could totally, you know, make this work. You know, let's get on the collab or whatever, and you know, the numbers work out and everybody's happy. Then yeah, man.
Exactly. Cool. So yeah, that little bit of news, and then I did think, like, so, and then I guess, and I'm sure some of you probably watched, but like, if I could turn this down.
Sunsoft Collection 2 for Evercade.
You know, it is neat that they released the extended version of this, where they talked a little bit about the games and all that. But I kind of wish I mean, what do you guys think? I wish they did this in their first trailer. I think it would have been much better.
Honestly, I'm fine with just a minute trailer. And that's it.
Yeah, we kind of said that, right? Like, they don't show enough of certain games. I think like, at least a minute of each game is all we kind of look for.
Today we're going to take a closer look at 3 of
I
our
haven't
favorite
watched
games
this
from this collection.
yet, so.
Well, I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna watch it because I already know what games are in it. So since I already
me neither.
know,
And I want to
Saga
rediscover
is one
them.
of several classic Sunsoft games
I
that
kinda wanna
rediscover this one was the first like North.
particularly in its
This one was kind of like the first North American release. But oh, you know what, Jen Joke? Maybe that was the plan before the leak. Maybe they were going to do this.
It's possible.
Maybe,
you know, it's possible that they had to kind of rush the announcement or whatever. Yeah, I mean that's the you know, the bitterness about, you know, having other channel partners kind of leak your stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But no, that's kind of that's exactly what you said, Pete. Like, I just want like a minute for each game. Like that would have been,
yeah.
You know, that would have been kind of neat. The only thing that I wish that they would have explained here that they didn't was what the Galaxy Fight. That is it the Neo Geo? Is it the PS1 version? Like they did, like they don't say that.
That's like the only mystery about that card. It's probably the PlayStation version because I think if it was a Neo Geo, it would have been like they would have made a bigger deal out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think it might have been on an arcade cartridge because it's still a mystery whether or not they would consider the Neo Geo to be arcade or home.
Right. Yeah, no, that's definitely tricky. Well, if they did the AES version of it, then it's like it's the arcade at home, but it's technically the console. I don't know. Yeah. But I hope going forward we can just kind of see this. I mean, here they have the highlighted three games and talk to. Like, I hope we see that going forward because I kind of like it than just kind of like the quick like minute thing. For me, it's like it's more fun to like to make a video on something that's at least like 5 minutes. just to be able to react and go. And it's like, yeah, you could go in and like research all the games and everything, but like I think like that's like a lot of, like for me, like that's like a lot of work, and that's not as much fun than just kind of like, you know.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Like
Here's what if you're talking about this from a content creator point of view, and if they only say, "Oh, here are the games," and don't really give you any more information about, then you can actually come and create a video all about that, and there would be more incentive for people to watch that video because you would be providing them the information that they didn't. But if they're just going to provide all the information anyway, and then you're just going to make a video repeating all that, I think that's just some people may watch it just see your
repeating
opinions
all
on
of it.
it.
It's just it's reacting, and it's like it's just like, you know, it's
but there's a difference between just a reaction video or here's a reaction and some more information.
Yeah, but no, but like, well, yeah, no, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's why I like doing reaction videos. It's kind of supposed to be like, here's my first impressions. Here's kind of what I think. It's not like it's kind of like, I kind of feel like as far as like games that have come, it's like, you know, but like released over here, like that's like on Blaze to provide. But you know, and even let's say if I wasn't a YouTuber, having like a minute video doesn't really just kind of like tell me anything. You know what I mean? Like I maybe want like a little bit more context. No, that's all. Like if I was doing the advertising, I would put a little bit more effort into it. And I'm glad that they did, but I think it was like a little bit too late because they said, "Hey, you guys have been wanting this," but like, and that's why I didn't do another video because then it wasn't exciting for me at that point. I'm like, "Oh, well, we, you know, kind of like to your point, Crow, we know all the games." You know, so I was just like, yeah.
Finally.
So, it is what it is. Better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My question is, who's the new voice?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, actually,
it's definitely not Sean.
Yeah.
Unless he like put his voice in a whatchamacallit.
The Christmas-themed platformer Days Before Christmas, in which you get to see the tea-fueled dark side of Santa Claus.
Yeah, I love the dark side of Santa Claus. Yeah, I love. See, and I didn't even really like this footage is better. Like showing him with the hat off and the devil. I'm like that. Like, why didn't y'all show that the first time? You know,
because you wanted to be surprised when you played it,
right?
Actually, yeah. Now that I think about it, maybe I should have watched this video just to see if they lent any hints as to what version of the game that is.
Yeah.
But I guess if you could maybe compare like screenshots of the different versions of Galaxy Fight, but at this point, I'm 99% sure it is the PlayStation version.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me because of the licensing and all that. But that was like what I was looking for. I mean, you know, the second you put it in and go to load the game, if it doesn't load after after a few seconds, it's the PlayStation 1 version because it has the longer loading time and all that. But yeah, and let's. All right, I do want to move on to polls.
Nice.
So I keep liking kind of like pushing the button and asking. Actually, we got 140 votes, so people really seem to like these speculations. So that's why I'm like, let me narrow it down even further because I was curious. I said, if we could only get one big publisher this year, who would you pick? And I'm like, yes, it would be a physical cart. Like, it's not going to be a super pocket nonsense. And actually, yeah, Rich will be happy to know. People want Sega more than SNK, more than Konami, and even more than like a different Capcom collection, like with different games.
Yep. That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I think the reason it doesn't surprise me is because I get a funny feeling that something of that vein will wind up happening sooner or later. You know, whether or not it's this year or next or whatever. I think that's I think that's kind of where it might go, and other people might be feeling the same way. So it's pretty good.
Yeah, I'd like to see a Sega tie-in because it's like, hey, you can buy the Super Pocket for $60, and you can also buy this cart, and you can play like Kid Chameleon, Streets of Rage, like all the games that they're going to like remake or continue. Like you can play all the classic versions here in the physical media, relive your childhood, and it's
right
under $100 or whatever. Like that would be neat, you know. And what I mean by like, you know, like don't want a super pocket of this, but you can get another super pocket and put in the cart. So yeah, this excites me. For me, for as much as I do like SNK, for me, like yeah, I'm not surprised these are tied. I have a lot of love for Konami, a lot of love, you know, a lot of love for Sega, but I'm not surprised that Sega just like edged it out. And what's everybody saying? I won't read like all these in depth, but yeah, like Frogger, Scramble, Gyrus. Yeah, those are like a lot of Sega Arcade, definitely Sega. Imagine if SNK was announced, and we got the NES, like the NES versions. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. SNK, Konami, SNK. I voted Konami. Look, all those cards. Konami, Bullfrog, Populous, and then the oddball like LucasArts. So yeah,
oh boy,
I think that's great. I appreciate everyone's participation.
Whoever said Bullfrog definitely is from Europe.
Let's see, what do we have for? Yeah, it is Crashline. It is wishful thinking, but it's just I don't know. It's just I just always like to kind of like, you know, poll people to see just to see what everyone's kind of like looking for, because I get like sometimes I know that like Blaze has to struggle with here's realistically what we can get for licenses, here's what people want. And we do love the discovery aspect, but like, you know, like it was huge when we got like Capcom, but it seems like getting like the big publishers, like it comes with a catch, right? Like we don't actually yet have like a big publisher cart, and that's kind of the, you know, that's kind of the thing. So yeah, and okay, and so a little bit of a sore subject, but I do want to bring this up because I'm curious of everyone's opinion, and it kind of like Rich knows a little bit more, or I think Crow may have popped in my stream. So I got my replacement Duke 2 cart. Very excited. I'm like, hey, let me go. You know, I'm like, let me go ahead and play Duke Advanced because I, you know, actually I saw people. You know, you were really liking it. And it was different. And I've heard people say it plays better than the PlayStation versions. I'm like, okay, let me jump into that. So you know, I did the update. Everything worked fine. I was playing it. Actually, I was really like, starting to dig it and get into it. Just had to like turn the gamma down so like the grays and the whites weren't bleeding too much together. And I was having a lot of fun. And then like about an hour and a half, I think I got like to the second or so boss, and then I died. I'm like, oh well, I'll just go ahead and load a save state. And then I did, and like nothing happened. And it kind of reminded me of like with Duke 3D, like you first tried to load save states, it was kind of broken. I'm like, that's weird. So, but it would only load the one in like, not the slot 2, wouldn't load the quick slot. I couldn't do any other saves. Then I went back to the SRM saves and everything was gone. I was like, God, this is just so, why is this happening? And so someone had a good suggestion. Hey, why don't you go ahead and restart the console? And I did. And then that's when it wasn't detected. And then I popped it out, put it back in both slots, nothing. I put it in the super pocket, nothing. The EXP up. And I was kind of bummed. I was glad to have the support of the chat. Because I mean, I don't know. I was like, it was just, you know, I don't want to say it would have like tossed the card across the room, but I'm hoping that it's just my dumb bad luck, because I hope it's not like a quality control issue with Video Games Plus or anything, because I got the next 2 cards coming, and I did email them, and I just want to tell it, like, I'm a little bit miffed because maybe I don't think they took the time to read my previous email, because I went through the trouble of dividing all the sections. I copied and pasted the link. I said, hey, this happened live. You know, the cart died during a live stream. Here's my troubleshooting. Here's what had happened. Here's where it started to fail. Can you send me the replacement cards? And then somebody responded back and they said, are you with the latest firmware? We've been seeing that. And I'm like, oh, like they made like the typical tech support mistake where you're like, my PC can't power in. And they're like, yeah, but can you update Windows? It's like, no. So
following procedures, never a mistake.
Yeah,
I mean they are just checking.
Yeah, but they've been very polite. What is interesting that I'll say, sometimes they'll respond fast, sometimes it takes long. And I just said, hey, I said, you know, I'm at the latest firmware. You know, and I was polite, but I said, no, that's not the case. Like, this died on my YouTube channel on stream. And the thing that I hate is I didn't want to like let them know that I'm the Evercade Effect. I don't want any other special treatment. I just want to I want to see what happens as a typical customer, but I didn't have a choice because I didn't have the time to like recut down another video to upload it unlisted, and they'd see the name of the channel anyways. So I'll keep you all updated, but like I hope I get sent a third cart that works, because the first one, actually I can still play the first game. I can play the 2 games, but it's the weird thing is, even though I may never play Time to Kill that much, that's the fact that I paid for a cart and I want to feel like I have a full working collection, if that makes sense. Let's see. Oh, Rigatoni snuck in. When did Rigatoni snuck in?
Rigatoni. I had that for dinner the other day.
Hey, Rigatoni.
Oh, I really like rigatoni.
Yeah, he snuck in. Yeah.
The YouTube guy and the food.
No, Rigatoni.
Are you done complaining about your cart being broken?
I think so. No, I was just gonna say.
I think you should have played the prima donna and just said, "Look, I am Evercade Effect. I am."
Do you know who I am?
You know who I am.
I'm Evercade Effect. I affect the Evercade.
Yeah,
I am Evercade. Get me my cart.
I know. I could, but dude, I don't want to. Listen, I don't want to. I don't want to be an asshat. Like Video Games Plus has been really nice.
What's the point of having knowing people if you can't use them? Come on.
They've been very nice. So I'm not.
I've never had a problem with them. I just email them and I'm like, "Hey, my cart's broke." Okay, what's the problem? And I let them know, and they either fix it or they send me a new one.
Right. Done. Yeah. Finally.
So what happened again?
So no, that's so like you get like a different person like respond. I think that was the issue. They just said if you tried updating the firmware, and they ignored the whole fact of my other paragraph and my video links saying that hey, it had died, and I had to engage.
Right. No, yeah. I'm not about that. What specifically happened to the cart?
It died. The save state slowly stopped. The save state stopped working.
Okay.
And then once I like restarted the console, it
just didn't see it anymore.
And that's why. Yeah, and that's why I say
you were in a specific game. What were you playing?
Duke Advanced.
Okay.
Yeah. And I say that it died because I think what had happened, because I was able to do save states and load back. I think at some point it died, and I was just playing it in memory, and that's what I wasn't able to load it, because when I wasn't able to go back to SRM saves, I was like, this isn't good. And then when it wouldn't work in the Super Pocket wouldn't even see it. I'm like, yeah, that's dumb,
Well, like I always said early on, sometimes a crapshoot when you put a cart in the Evercade, right? Some carts. Yeah.
It was like the renovation collection, but I'm like two times in a row. Oh, Mike, see that.
I am Evercade.
No, but I don't want to be like that. Only if they were like, no, we're not gonna. Yeah, see, that's. I do want to let Blaze know, but I want to let them know, hey, but I would like this to be resolved first. I'd like to say, hey, I got sent a second cart. Everything works now. You may want to check out whoever that suppliers, or if it doesn't work again or there's difficulties, you betcha I will reach out to them. But yeah, it's just more frustrating where it's like I just want plug and play. Yeah. So watch it. Yeah, that's all. Bad luck for sure. But it does. It does. I'm not gonna lie. It's like like then when you get your next cards, is it going to be working, or is it not? Okay, that'll change. Wow, somebody actually remembered. That'll change the. That'll change the mid here. Here we go.
Retro Kill -9.
That was a quiet one. I will burst everybody's eardrums. I am Evercade. Yeah, no, I hear you, P. I could do that, but I don't know. I don't want to be like I'm the. I don't want to be like that. Did I try blowing? Actually, yeah, I did. I did, and it didn't. It still didn't respond. All right. Yeah. So yes, I think I'm off my rant of that. Do you want to talk about C64 Collection 1?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. And since I just finished the Sunsoft collection.
he's like why? He's like why?
That's awesome.
Yeah. And actually, so this for me is my favorite game, and I think is like the best game on the cart.
Let's see. A lot of people like this game. I'm not like. It's okay. I'm sure if I played it when it was. Honestly, what's funny is, I didn't even rank it like that. I gave it a 5 out of 10.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know what it was about this game. I mean, back in it would have been different, I think, if I'd played this back like 30 years ago. 40 years ago. I don't, but I don't know. Today, playing it for when I played it for the first time, I think it was last year or something like that. It was just okay to me. And this is Bruce Lee, not just Lee. They just couldn't use Bruce Lee's name, but they. And what's funny is like they, I kind of ripped the ROM apart that they used on here, and they used a save state, so it starts after the title screen. So
they call me Bruce. Sorry.
that would be Bruce Campbell. Actually, you've seen that. Have you seen that movie? There is a movie called My Name Is Bruce.
That's right.
And it's about Bruce Campbell being mistaken for the characters he plays.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I can tell you, like, first, I can tell you what I do. Like any game with like ninjas and all that, the controls are well. To start it, you didn't have to bring up the keyboard. Now, I will say that I got to a point where I was like, how do I beat this? And I think I either looked in the manual or I did, I'm like, oh, you got to get the lanterns. And then once I figured that out, the game was really, the controls took a little bit to getting used to because I think you can press jump and a jump button. But yeah, this one was just really fun. It was for the most part pick up and play and all that.
It's funny.
If you put it in isolation against what's on the C64, it's a much higher rated game, in my opinion. But in gaming itself, I give it about a 6 out of 10. But on this cart, I give it an 8 out of 10. That's how I look at it.
What's funny is like on this cart, I don't know how many games are on this cart. 14? Yeah, 14 games on this cart. And
Evercade.
I think there's 11 games better than this on the cart.
Really?
Oh, wow.
The only games I liked less than this one on the cart were Stormlord and Street Sports Baseball. Every other game I liked more than Lee.
Huh.
Really?
And it's not even saying that I didn't. I can't say I didn't like Lee, but I can't say I liked it either. Again, 5 out of 10 means that I was just right in the middle. I didn't like it, dislike it.
Yeah, for me, it's one of those things where I had fun playing this because it reminded me of games that I would have played back in the day on like my Apple IIe. So I had fun with this one. I don't know, ranking. I don't know. It probably would be like I would have liked this game as a young as a young kid. I would have liked this one and probably would have went back to it. So it would have ranked a little higher for me, I guess. But it was pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can climb up the things and all that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's higher on the collection, not as strong by itself, but it's
a fun game.
This like
I really enjoy it. It's like I like the fact that it's easy to get in and play, and it's not complicated, which is something that a lot of games on this collection don't necessarily have working for them.
Yeah.
See, for me, that's what I want from Evercade.
Yeah.
I want all my games to be like easy to get into.
Well, that's what I mean. That's why it kind of should rank higher for a lot of people. Like, you don't need to get into the menu system. You could just press the A button or B button, and you're in playing.
Yeah, I think the only game less complicated than Lee would be Jumpman.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing though. I want I want Blade. Like I was kind of hoping they would have taken a lesson that like every game that they can put on the computer collection should be like that. You press a button to get into the game. It is easy and good controls. It's pick up and play. Like I was kind of hoping going forward they would have used this game as an example, but that didn't happen. But all right. So yeah, we agree this is a good game. I'll be curious.
Yeah, it's just the end boss is kind of weird though. It's like, don't you just have to run across the screen? That's it. I can barely remember it.
No, I didn't. I have to go back and revisit this.
That's all I remember about the boss is you sitting there at the top of the screen, you run across the screen, and then you win.
Oh, okay. So it's kind of like Sydney Hunter, like the Master System version. You just gotta like do.
And then the game just repeats. But again, yeah, I think I would look at this game differently if I'd played it 40 years ago. but since I never did, I just have no nostalgia for this game.
Mm.
Oh, would it be great though if like Blaze added that where you went into like the VS to the EXP and you typed in beard and there comes like a pixelated, like a pixel art version of Crow? Like how cool would that? I don't know. I don't know if that's what he meant, but that's kind of like what I.
Yeah, I kept seeing that, but then they were talking about Chuck Norris, and I'm like, are they talking about Chuck Norris's beard? I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know. It'd be great if like Blaze did that with all three of us, like put in like a keyword and there'd be a weird pixelized version of us or something. I don't know. But yeah, that would be funny.
Cool.
Crow Norris. Okay, so I think we all agree. Yeah, we like this game. Good, good times, good controls. What about?
It's a real good game.
What about Marauder?
Ugh, Crow will love this.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Oh my gosh, no way, dude. No way.
Yeah, way.
This game is so stupidly hard, in my opinion.
Yeah, just because it's hard doesn't mean it's bad.
Yeah, you know what? It is not. It's barely a 4, in my opinion. Just on that one.
I think the only problem I had is that I think it doesn't end. It just keeps repeating.
Yeah.
But it does go on for quite a while before it starts repeating.
I find that it gets unfair with some of those homing in, the enemies that home in on you. Like, you can't avoid them. And then there's this, like, you think you can go through this space in the level, and you can't. But your little spaceship, your little Marauder should be able to fit through it. It's like, oh, it's so annoying.
Well, that's why it doesn't get an 8 out of 10.
And then it reverses your controls on you for no stupid reason. Like,
oh god,
when did it reverse the control? Oh, no, there is a stupid reason to reverse your controls. Because there are bad power-ups to pick up.
Yeah,
I know, and they don't tell you that.
Yeah, but you figure it out. You know like which ones not to collect.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead, like I'm just like I consistently just
This is not a 7
everything ever,
guys.
and
I'm sorry.
I wind up picking them up anyway, like
This
by
cannot be a
accident.
7 out of 10.
I'm like shooting them off screen, and I'm like,
Don't take
See,
the power
here it
up.
starts off fine, but then I agree. Like that was kind of my frustration too. Then it like narrows down, and then you have too many things like homing in on you, and it's way too aggressive where you feel like there's no out. Like
Oh,
it's like,
fast forward and you'll see.
Yeah, this game is like, ugh. But because it had so much potential to be a great game.
The 7 out of 10. I gave it. It's a good game.
Oh, you were smoking crack that day or something, or you had too many hot dogs.
Too many hot dogs.
just the level design, man.
good.
That's like you keep getting squanched in, and like no,
It
I
has
really want
all the ingredients to be a good game. Don't you think? Like, it has all the ingredients, right? Diverse enemies, challenging enemies. Level design's a bit weak, but I mean, it doesn't put it together. It just says, you know what? Like, we don't want you to see any more than 5 minutes of this game. Imagine playing this back in the day after paying $40 for it.
Oh, I would have been
a
upset.
lot of games are like this. So
yeah,
I
know.
I'm just saying, like, in today's content, like in today's, sensibilities, it's not a great game.
Oh well, if you're looking at it at that lens, yeah, I can agree with you.
Yeah, but Rich,
people
there's tons of
might
games
just leave
today.
this one down.
Rich, Super Mario is still an amazing game today. So
that's true.
Like, there's tons of old games that are amazing. Golden Axe Warrior, amazing today.
Yeah, that's true. That's
there's
true.
Like, so there's just as many great games created in this era that are great today.
Yeah.
This one just feels like they're cheating the player.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think so, because if I could get through every area without even using save states, if I could get through every area without getting hit, then there's a way to make it through.
I guess. Yeah, you got a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just don't have that energy.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Like that level of frustration. Yeah. That's. Yeah. Like what I was hoping this game would have been great. Like it kind of sort of reminds me like of Jackal, but I mean, this isn't Konami making it. Like this game kind of could have had that potential and it didn't.
Now, is this one of those like semi? Well, who was the studio on this?
Marauder. I could.
Yeah, was it just like?
No, it's probably. I think this is Usen. It's Usen, because it's definitely not Epics, and there's only Usen and Epics on this cart.
Okay.
Crow is a master of save states. Yes, he is.
I'm also getting really good. There's still like times where I'll like finish the video and then I'll be upload it and I'll watch it later and I'll be like, oh, I forgot to take out a save state. I missed that one.
time and patience are in short supply rather than jackal or yeah. I think it depends on it kind of depends on your play style. Because for me, like if I have to and I think this is why I kind of have feelings about some of these computer games. If I want to put that time and energy into a game, then I probably would rather play something like Civilization or something that offers more strategy. But at the end of the day, like I just need something just to like unwind. That I just don't. After your brain has like been like used up thinking. I don't know. That's.
But you don't need to think to play this game. You just have to be good.
I don't know, man.
There's nothing to think about. You shoot everything on the screen. There's nothing. And dodge the bullets.
I don't like a game either. Like in this case, either due to like bad level design or controls where you feel cheated. Like I don't like versus some other games that have tight controls in good level design. Like if I die, I feel like it's my fault. And this, I kind of just feel like it's
Well, honestly, if you die, it is your fault in this game. I don't think you could play through this game without getting hit. So there are other games I've played where it's like I could not figure a way through, like no matter how much I tried without getting hit. So those are the games that are cheating you. Like where you like the kind of games where you like have to make a blind jump, but then there's an enemy right where you land or something.
Right.
That's a game that's cheating you.
Maybe it kind of depends, but like I don't know, like Xenocrisis, right? That game is tough, but the controls are solid. It's randomly generated. Like there's a lot more interest. The levels are designed. You know what I mean? Like I feel like that.
I still have a minor problem with that game though, like because you can't hold down the fire button and roll. It like never worked. You have to let go fire to roll, and that's an issue I have with the game. I don't know if it was designed that way or if it's
I think it might have been designed that way. Yeah, but yeah, like this nonsense, right? Like all these like things like shooting, and then you got to like.
And then you dodge
able
it all.
to do it here, but you got those things shooting at you there, and it's like, oh my god!
And you make it through without getting hit.
All right, well, for the third game this morning, evening, depending on your times, I'm curious to see what you all think about this one, because
actually, this is one of the worst games on the collection.
Okay, thank you.
For me, this might be.
It is not good.
Yeah, this might be a not great.
I can't remember what specifically. It's not a side-scrolling platform like you would think it would be. It is more of a puzzle game where you pick up items. And and there's that too. But yeah, in the sense,
they could show that, but we can't get the uncensored version of Glass. No, sorry.
Well, that's a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm sure there's a big difference. I just had to say. This was a game that I was excited to see in the trailer, and then I played it. I'm like, everything about this is awful. The play control, just what to do, killing enemies, and just
This one
This is a game that cheats you. Yeah, this is a game that cheats you. This is a game where you can, in fact, get soft locked if you pick up the wrong item or something at the wrong time.
Yeah.
Right.
This is not a good game.
And we're getting Stormlord 2.
I know.
Did they
So I
fix a
hope
lot of
it's
stuff
better.
with Stormlord and Stormlord 2, I wonder?
I don't know anything about Stormlord 2. So
Wow,
I'm
the
expecting more of
weird
the same.
thing is, wow, okay.
This was sold directly on the fact that it had nudity in it. I think the majority of people bought it because of the fact that it had nudity.
Really?
A lot of horny teenage boys. Yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, it seems like it.
Oh, okay. I get that now.
If that was the case, why wouldn't they just call the game Nudity, the game?
Well, I don't want to bring parents' attentions to it, But yeah, this one I don't know. Like I'm debating in my head, would I give this a D or an F?
See, I wonder if like the Amiga version of this game is better or not.
I mean,
oh, Well, that's good to know, Jen Junk. He said Stormlord 2 is quite different, so hopefully it's much improved.
I mean, this one, like, it's it's slow and plodding and doesn't feel great. But I guess at least if you like really dig into it, you can play it.
See, to get rid of the bees, you have to grab the honey.
I hate that. Like, it teaches you the wrong thing. Like half the time you can walk on the green grass, and then all of a sudden there's a green little spike hidden in there.
Yeah, and then it eats you. And it's like,
See, this, like I said, this is a game that cheats you.
Oh, it cheats you big time. Like the worst.
Yeah, big time.
I like Marauder more now because of this.
You know, I think maybe if the controls were better and you didn't move as sluggish, like that would help a lot. But
right, or if you can shoot in all of the different directions.
Cheap Death City.
And if I remember correctly,
instead of like having that weird arc.
And if I remember correctly, the Evercade version, you could actually use. They actually mapped up to a button, so you could push a button to jump. In the original, you had to push up to jump.
Right.
You could still push up to jump here, but you have that button, so you have the option at least. Oh yeah, this is so stupid.
What is?
You have to like shoot the hearts at the fairies, but dodge their tears or something.
Oh, is that what Fire Fantasy or something? Fairy Fantasy?
I don't know.
What was the Defender game where you boob swing every time you flap your wings?
Oh, that's
Insects
in Space. Insects in Space.
Yeah.
You think of Insects in Space, aren't you?
Is that on the Evercade?
Yeah.
No, I think he's talking about Fairy Fire, the native game. I think.
No. He's talking about Insects in Space.
Yeah.
No, but he says surprised that it made it to Evercade.
Yeah, that's Insects in Space. It's on C64 Collection 2.
Oh, it did.
That's the one where have you played it? It's the game where if you play it, you wouldn't forget it because it's the game you play as a naked fairy with their boobs swinging all over the place. Did you not play that game?
No, I did. I'll be honest. A lot of these games are forgettable.
That's wild.
Yeah, for me. No, if I'm being a lot of these computer collections, like they've gotten better. Like the Computer Heroes one, that one that's probably the most played one that I played is the Computer Heroes one of all of them. Just because it's, I don't know, like that's kind of the other thing. Like with some of these, like with this collection, like kind of after you play it, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm done with that. I don't. For me, I don't have the urge to go back.
See, no, if you didn't
I completely forgot about that.
I gave Insects in Space. I gave Insects in Space a 10 out of 10. I like the game
just for the boob
much.
flapping.
Yeah, well, there's that too. That's an added bonus. But even without that, it still would have gotten a 10 for.
It's not just boobs; they got the nips on there too. It's hilarious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh, this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
But this is Defender, but they really expanded on Defender. You could do a lot more in Defender or in this game than you could in Defender.
God.
You can get power-ups in this game.
Man,
and honestly, I love when games flash like this. I love it. I love it when you get disorientated.
Oh my God. I think, I hate I think like the flashing lights, like your character moves way too fast. Like that messed with me. Like I really wanted to like this game.
No, I gave it a 10 out of 10.
Ooh.
This game's perfect. Don't change a thing about it.
They need to remaster this with modern day graphics.
Yeah, they should.
Oh, you dirty old man.
Rated M for mature.
Yeah.
The big flashing screen. I was like, that was getting. That was kind of getting to me there. Dude, I wish it was Legendary Wings. That's a game that does take a little bit more patience, but once you get into it, that actually I feel like that's
now better than the other ones.
Yeah, I think it was all like the flashing lights like that. For me, that I know that like messed with my sensory.
Well, that's why that's one of the reasons why I like Jeff Minter games. Jeff Minter games always love to like put in these flashing things all over the place.
Yeah, they are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
too crazy for me.
The last one he did was AKR, right?
Did he, I have that and I never played it.
That game is wild.
You all.
Actually,
that game is absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I think that's why I forgot about this game, because I was like, yeah, the flashing lights fried my brain.
Oh yeah, he did do Tempest 4000.
Oh, Tempest 4000. Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, there's the Llamasoft logo on the back.
Yep. That game is also pretty wild.
Yeah, I think my first exposure really, like, I might have played Jeff Minter games before, but the first game I really played was like Tempest X3. It was like really Tempest 3000. I played that a lot on the PlayStation, and mostly because I could play it with a mouse. I had the PlayStation mouse, and you could play Tempest X3 with the mouse.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, really? There's a Jeff Minter collection coming out? I'm going to get that.
Oh, for Digital Eclipse, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know about that. That sounds really good.
Giant epilepsy warning at the start of every game.
Right, yeah, yeah.
Aqua
You know what?
Art's coming to
I
VR
don't like
in March
that.
8th. That's I don't even know
like
if I
that.
would survive playing that game in VR. I really wouldn't. I don't know. That's wild.
I don't really play VR to begin with, so.
Yeah, I mean, I had a PSVR. That was like the last. That was the one and only like system thing that I got for VR, and it was cool. But yeah, I haven't played it in a while. Particularly because it and my other PS4 were over at my friend's house. I loaned it to him during the pandemic, and I never got it back.
It's fun. I keep saying I'll get into VR when they can if the technology exists in our lifetime where you don't need the headset. If it's like like the Star Trek holodeck, then it'll be.
Wait, technically, actually, no, I don't have it.
Then it'll be good.
You could try Google Cardboard. Just attach your phone to it.
Yeah. I've done Cardboard. It's pretty good.
Actually, I've got something.
It's actually effective.
I mean, let me put it this way: like for me, like VR, like in itself, like is like a gimmick. Like it's fun. It's fun to play for maybe 5 or 10 minutes, like in an arcade. But I wouldn't want to just because here's my again for people who love it. That's
just put your phone in there.
Here's my whole thing, right? I kind of feel like I'd rather if I'm going to do that to get exercise, I'd rather go out into the world and go into nature, or I'd actually rather play the experience of playing more of a real video game without, because a video game, it's kind of, for me at least, it's not supposed to use real life controls. I like to feel like I'm playing a game. I mean, again, it's cool for those who do, but it's not for me yet until they can kind of get to that point. So that's
yeah.
And it's really expensive.
The thing that did it for me was Super Hot. Playing Super Hot in VR is
Super Hot.
The deal. That is, in my opinion, it's still one of the most definitive experiences for VR play.
I only played one VR game on a PC. My friend had it, and so I tried it, and I can't remember the name of it. It was the one where you're in an office or something like that, and you keep going into different places.
Yeah.
And and then you wind up on trial. I can't remember the name of it now. And it's
that's pretty wild.
It's weird, and it's and then in order to get out of the one area, you have to drink acid to kill yourself or something like that. And I just did that, not realizing it was gonna take me out of the level.
Oh, no. That's pretty.
And I can't think of the game. You start out at a desk or something, and I don't remember the.
I tell you what I do like. That's an in between, and that's kind of let's say again, another name I'd be scared to Google if I didn't know. Raw Thrills, they do cruising and all. I like to play I like to play the racing games where you don't have a headset, but the car that you're in, it moves. So it's kind of
those are cool.
Yeah.
They've been putting those out for decades.
Yeah.
You could do. They had Outrun, Cruisin'. Yeah. There's a version of Cruisin' USA like that.
Yep.
Rad Racer. Yeah. A lot of these games they have at Galloping Ghost, actually.
I think that the only other
it wasn't the Stanley Parable, not the Stanley Parable.
The only other bad experience that I had is a place that I when I used to have to go into the office, a place that I work for, they had a lot of different things and computers set up, and I put on the VR. I put on like it was like goggles, and it looked cool. But then I think once I looked down at my feet, and then that messed with my brain. It kind of gave me like the same feeling of kind of being on high heights, and then I felt like really nauseous. So it was kind of like I don't know.
Look down at my shoes, and I'd be like, "That's not the shoes I'm wearing."
Yeah, but it messed with my brain though, because I think at that point then it was like so I think that might be. But yeah, I think maybe 5 or 10 years from now VR might be interesting. We'll see.
So were we only talking about 2 games today, or 3 games? How many games did we talk about?
3. We did our 3.
Yeah, we did Marauder,
Lee, Marauder, and
Storm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
now probably when we talk about it again, there's only 4 games left, so we'll probably talk about 4 games to finish it off. Since
that's cool. Yeah.
For the next one. So yeah, that'll be neat. Try to space these out so it's not too much, but we still got stuff to talk about.
Yeah, I think we still haven't talked about the worst game on C64 Collection 1.
The Movie Monster game?
No, that one's actually I like that one more than Lee.
Yeah. What, dude? I had no patience because you move like so slow.
I gave it the same score I did Lee, 5 out of 10, but at least there's variety in the Movie Monster game.
Listen, I am excited about Indie Heroes 3, and I look forward to being able to like stream and be able to play like Donut Dodo on the VS. So I'm looking forward to that and the other.
Hey, I can still play that on the VS because I on my Founders Edition I still have Donut Dodo.
Oh yeah.
But I have it on Steam too, so I don't need to hook that up to play it if I want. So
I know, but I'm an Evercade channel, so I can't do that. So sadly.
You can do that, just don't tell anybody.
Oh, like people wouldn't notice. Hey, how are you playing that?
Well, you don't stream it. You just play it.
Oh yeah, that's different.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Indie 3 as well. I'm also pretty glad that certain other indie games that are on Indie Heroes 1 and 2 are also like now like coming back into some of the other places where I go and watch videos and stuff. Like for example, I watch Arcus. He's a speedrunner, and he's doing practice for what they call the Big 20, which is insane. It's all these runners run 20 games in a row in one sitting. In various like sometimes you don't have to beat the game, you just have to get like to a certain level or a certain score or whatever, because then it would be like you'd be playing for like 11 hours. But yeah, you have these 3 games and whoever has the best time wins, which that's the whole speed running thing. But in the Big 20 for this season is Bobble is one of the games.
Bubble. It's Bubble.
Yeah, Bubble.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's Bubble. Even it's got that print thing over the.
It's got like the umlaut.
Yeah, the umlaut over the O, so you pronounce it like it was a U. So
that's a great game to speed run because you feel like once you memorize everything is, and then it's about like timing your technique and just basically being able to run it without making mistakes. So that's
watching him go through that though is awesome because I'm like, oh sweet. I can probably
sometimes
do that.
I have weird thoughts. You remember the show Quantum Leap?
Yeah.
What if he leapt into a speedrunner while he was in the middle of a speed run? Like what? Like
that would be kind of cool. What's up?
No MacGyver, but
like ARKUS or
ARCUS. He's on Twitch and YouTube.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, he's known for Ninja Gaiden, but.
Oh, that guy with the cowboy hat. Yes.
Yes. He was playing Punch Out, wasn't he? He was in that Punch Out video.
Yeah,
he was doing Punch Out too.
Well. Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, no, it's awesome. And like I said, watching him go through Bubble is awesome. It was really, really cool. But he like I said, he's doing that and 20 other games every day for the next 2 weeks.
Is sometimes when I go, if I'm going to go on Twitch, one of the things I look at is TAS speedrunnings, tool-assisted speedruns, because I found those a little bit more interesting just to see how badly the game can be broken.
Those are super geeky.
But there's channels that just stream videos constantly of tasks, speedruns.
Yep. Yeah.
Sometimes it's fun to peek in on those.
Yeah, I'm following a couple of those channels, so I get notifications every once in a while when I'm bored. It's like, oh, a task is running, so like I watch it, and it's like, yeah, it's wild.
Well, it's important to know like the limits of the game, and then it's like, is it possible for a human to do? And that's like, then that's how like speedrun records get broken, because then people try.
Practice that stuff. They do things that they don't think are humanly possible, and then somebody does it.
Right. Yeah. And then like, you get to that hairy edge where you might actually run up against like the task, and somehow whoever programmed it didn't think about doing this one other thing, and they wound up beating that too, which is nuts. What's going on, Mike?
Cool. Okay, I found. Yeah, good. I followed and subscribed them both on YouTube. Yeah, I forgot about the guy. So I'm like, oh yes, they got the cowboy hat and mustache from somebody. So like, how could I forget?
Yeah, he speedrun. What the heck? He did speed run where he made a burrito, but it was like he was speed running making the burrito. It's like him in his kitchen. It's like,
was he was playing while he was making the burrito? Was he seeing if he could beat the game before he could finish the burrito?
No, he was just, the speed run was make the burrito.
Oh yes, he speed run making the burrito.
So but he had like the timer. He's like, and clunk, and he just makes
was he?
Well, now we're in a whole different realm. Now we're into like making sandwiches. I wonder if there's sandwich speedrunners.
Speed sandwiches.
I'm just curious. Was he playing Bobble on the actual like on a VS, or what was he? Or was he just playing it like?
It's got to be the NES version.
Yeah, I don't think
he uses power mappers. So it's a like he has a set of like either ROMs or loaded cartridges that he goes between when he loads all of his games.
Okay, like on a flash cart. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know exactly like how he does it or what it is. But...
okay. No, I was gonna say it would be really cool if there was a speedrunner that actually would play like an Evercade hard, just to give Evercade attention. That's all.
Yeah,
maybe that has to be one of us.
It would be.
It would be for that. You can pay for influencers. They should just pay out of pocket.
Right. It's like, hey, play this.
Yeah.
Speedrun this. Like, well, there was a couple of runners.
Good marketing
in the speedrun community. There is actually Evercade categories for speedrunning. So I actually tried to see if I could get good enough at Doodle World easy mode, and then like actually like play competitively.
Nice.
And I got close.
I'm gonna create a channel called Worst Speedrunner Ever.
I would totally subscribe to that.
No, you could be a slow. You could be a slow runner.
Yeah,
you could be a slow runner.
The slowest.
The slow runner.
or
I can remember when I did a stream where I finished the remake of Ghosts and Goblins. I don't know, back in the day, 2-3 years ago when it came out, I actually stayed on stream for like 2.5 hours to finish that game. It was the worst experience of my life.
Oh God! Look at Jillian, the Sword of Sudan speedrunning championship.
Hey, you know what? There's probably Sword of Sudan speed. There probably are speedrunners for that.
There's gotta be.
There's probably for boring ass games. That's another great channel. Boring ass games.
You know, it's interesting. Sword of Sudan. I need to look up to see if it's possible to beat the final boss of that game, because I swear I was fighting that thing for like an hour and it wasn't dying. And I'm like, what is going on? I don't understand this. I never did look up to see how to actually beat it.
It's like that boss in Earthworm Jim 2 or for one that I streamed one time and I couldn't figure out how to beat him. I think
there is a speed run of Sword of Sudan for the Mega Drive. The current record is 6 minutes and 56 seconds.
Wow!
I don't trust those speedrunners a lot of times because they all get found out eventually they're cheating.
Yeah,
well, I mean, sometimes sometimes it happens, but
when they play them live, in front of a crowd, it's kind of hard to.
Right? Yeah, it was live performances.
Well,
I trust no one, but they can have the rig set up where it's like doing something on the frames or stuff. They can do a lot of stuff too with technology today. I don't trust.
I didn't know that was a second place run. Arcus is in second place worldwide for Ninja Gaiden.
What are you looking at?
Speedrun.com.
Oh, there's an actual web page for this.
Oh, of
Oh
course.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
speedrunning
That's how
is
they
huge.
keep
It's a
track
huge
of.
community, man.
Yeah,
That's how much
yeah.
interest I have in speedrunning. Like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it's like an actual thing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and it's like they have different categories, like original hardware, emulated, or like
good
how
lord,
much of the
God.
game do you complete? Is it just the fastest
I'm gonna
possible?
go
or do
down
you have
that
to complete
rabbit hole,
every
aren't I?
level? You know?
Yeah.
It's funny, I tell you, like
Dude,
I go
yeah.
down rabbit holes on YouTube sometimes, and I don't gamble, right? I don't like gambling. I don't like slot machines or anything like that. Last night I found a channel where this dude is in Vegas and he just plays high run slot machines, and
Yeah.
it's really well produced. And he's just sitting there with these two buddies, and he's like playing a machine for $200 a spin.
What?
So 1 hour later, I was still watching his channel of this dude just doing it.
Actually, you know those
It was
online.
fascinating. They're trying
are
to figure it
people-
out, and
Yeah, there's people that play like the online slots game, but it turns out they get paid from those websites
this
to
guy's
play the
just in a
game.
casino. He
Of
has a camera
course.
set up, and I don't know if he's getting paid or not, but he's got a lot of viewers. So, like, it's
I mean,
funny watching him.
how do you
and his
keep a
son
channel
play.
like that running? You have to win at some point,
Yeah,
right?
They lose a lot.
You do. Yeah, but if you lose a lot, this guy who does like the online stuff, he'll lose millions of dollars in a stream. I'd be like, yeah, no big deal.
Yeah.
That's because they pay him millions of dollars.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, they're giving
Yeah.
that's yeah.
That is nuts.
But this guy here, you like, I don't know. Like, I was wondering that too last night when I was watching. It's like, is the casino giving him this money? But he's no.
Probably.
It's just that he's like he's just independently wealthy, and this is what his family does for fun. But they now is like, I think his channels and his Facebook memberships and all that is paying for all this for him. Like, he's got like 300,000 subscribers. He's got 200,000 on Facebook, and like he's getting tons of revenue, right? So that's probably what's funding the fun for him.
Yeah, isn't that the life to have people pay you to watch you win money?
Yeah, or lose money. Last night he lost 10 grand.
Right.
He lost 10 grand, but they were celebrating 200,000 followers on Facebook. But I was just got into this like loop of watching the things spin and them going for stuff, and I'm like, I'm glad I don't like gambling because I could see me enjoying playing that game.
It's not the Stanley Parable. It is not the Stanley Parable. I played that a lot, and Deluxe as well. I don't even know if there's a VR version of that. This was a game where you start off at a desk, and then you somehow, it's been years and years since I played it, but then you somehow get transported to another location where there's other characters that are interacting with you. And
Sounds like Stardew Valley.
it's not that.
I know.
And it gets weirder and weirder as you go along, where you're up on trial because you killed something, and then you wind up, and it's like you killed. I don't know. It's been so. I barely vaguely remember it. Job Simulator. That was it. It was Job Simulator. That was the game. That was the game.
Oh, I remember that game. I have a job. I don't need to simulate it.
Right. And
no, this is a weird game. It's like Goat Simulator, where it's not actually a goat simulator.
Right.
And for those of you tuning in, we're past the hour mark, so we're allowed to talk about non-Evercade things.
Hey, we're always allowed to talk about.
I know. But listen,
all we could do is we could say, "Hey, wouldn't it be great if that was on the Evercade?" There we go.
We just made every topic. Gambling games on the Evercade. Done.
It's an ongoing joke because then on Card we say like after an hour we can talk about like Evercade.
Yeah, Evercade stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean, Evercast 2?
Yes. Yeah.
It's after the watershed.
Evercade is not that interesting for me to be spending 2 shows talking about it.
Well, there's always fun. There's always something, right? There's always something.
Yeah. You guys have to. Ed has to talk about it, right? Because that's his livelihood.
Yeah. If I wasn't excited, if I wasn't excited Evercade interesting, I wouldn't have my channel dedicated to it.
See,
it's just that I find that there's not enough to talk about, like at certain periods of time.
Yeah,
I just gave my buddy the Max Payne. I had the collector's edition of Max Payne when it came out on the Xbox 360. Yeah. I just gave my buddy the whole statue and everything I had with it. Remember that game?
Oh,
Max Payne, yeah.
See, you know what?
Where'd you get that from, Rich?
Dude.
Oh, where did I get the Duke Nukem 3D and the Max Payne mouse pad? I won them from Apogee.
Oh, okay, that's what you talked about in your last video.
Yeah, I entered a contest for a big giant poster, and I won a poster of Maximum Velocity, which is one of their first games.
Maximum carnage.
There's a 24 by 36 framed poster. They sent it to me, and they said that, hey, we're gonna send you a mouse pad too. Check, just make sure you're checking the box. So I did the box opening, and it wasn't in the box, and I was like, whatever, it's fine. It's they forgot to put a mouse pad in. I still have this beautifully framed poster. Thank you so much. It's good. And then the guys over in Apogee actually they got in touch with me on X, and they're like, "Oh, we're so sorry that we forgot the thing. We'll send it to you right now." And I'm like, "Yeah, you don't have to do that." And then they did, and it was awesome. So I just found that because I'm looking actually for my cartridge for Full Void.
That's awesome. I was going to say, Blaze, if you still watch Evercast, like in a special edition, do that. Like that should have been in the Duke 2 special edition, like that, like stuff like that. I find to be epic. Like mouse pad, I would actually use that. I would see it.
I didn't know Apogee was still around.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
I keep hinting at them. I was like, hey, well, since you're still around, anything you guys have as far as that stuff, they're finding warehouses full of like crazy goodies and stuff, and then giving them away. Okay. Follow them on X, by the way, because they do giveaways every week or something.
When you were saying X earlier, I was so confused, and I was like, "Oh, you're talking about Twitter."
Yeah, Twitter. Yeah, yeah, that place. But yeah, then I mean, I still think they hold rights to like some of these games too, and I'm like, man, you guys should start talking to start talking to the folks over at Blaze and get these games over here. Let's go.
Right.
Because why not? If you're holding all these IP, get we got Duke. Why not Rise of the Triad and Keen and all that stuff? If you guys, if they're holding it, let's go.
Commander Keen.
Commander Keen should show up if we're gonna do another
remaster.
If they're gonna do anher remaster, then Commander Keen's right up there with Duke Nukem.
I bet you they could probably even get their new game. Was it Below the Stone or something like that? I bet you could get that on a native cart. And
is that related to Blakestone?
No, it's I don't know, it's some new thing. But I played it at a show at Too Many Games 2 years ago. They were at Too Many Games, and I went up to their booth and played it. It was pretty good. It was good. So, but hey, get it all on Evercade. Why not? Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah. And then, as far as the other stuff goes too, playing on the Polymega, the series that I need to get back to, playing all those games before I put my N64 module in. There's tons of games that are Pico related and NES Maker games that would be great on Evercade. In fact, the last one that I did was for Tower of Turmoil. That game is fantastic. We need to see that on Evercade immediately.
Tower, is it an indie game?
It is. Yeah, it's an NES Maker game. Yeah, I did that one, and then what was the other game I did? I just recently did Soko Banana. It's a puzzle game. That one's pretty good.
Do you think because that's a great thing to bring?
Shira and the 40 Thieves. Shira and the 40 Thieves, another great game.
Rich, do you think maybe Blaze is afraid to kind of pull the trigger and be like, hey, for this year, it's just going to be strictly homebrew and aftermarket, kind of cut out the nostalgia part of retro games? Do you think maybe they're afraid to pull the trigger? Or?
I don't think so.
I'd like to see them do that at some point.
I mean, I don't think they're ever going to, though. I think it's always going to be a mix. Because again, it's and they keep saying it in these interviews. Whatever door opens, we're going to walk through. And I'm like, okay. Well, that makes sense to me because you got to keep your business running. Yeah. So it all depends on how people are approaching Blaze or how Blaze finds himself in those opportunities to get that stuff done. So
retro brings people. True.
Yeah, of course.
True.
Yeah, absolutely.
I honestly don't want to really see any more Pico collections.
No, but
it just seems like they're getting worse and worse and worse.
But the weird thing is there's a whole bunch of games that are coming out on these collections, and it's the Polymega has 7 games that aren't on Evercade, and they look cool to me. Where are those games in the collection if they're already somewhere else?
They're they're games that already were out there.
Yeah.
And Pico now owns them, which means that whoever owned them went out of business. And if they went out of business with those games, how good can those games be?
Right.
It's interesting. I want to say that I've seen a lot of people there's been a lot of lack of excitement for Pico 4, and I kind of get that. I was like, okay, we have Pico 1, 2, and I'm like, huh, really? Beginning of the year, that's what they bring out. I mean, so like, I get it.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I'll be happy when it comes out. Just something new to play.
Yeah, I hope that they don't lose sight of the arcade collections. Like I
don't think they will. It depends. Like I said, we don't know what makes them money. Like they're going to produce more collections that make them money, right? So
yeah, it'd be interesting to know which are the best-selling collections.
Yeah, they don't tell us that, right? We assume it would be arcade, but maybe it is console, right?
Or maybe it's computer.
Yeah, exactly, right? They'd be stupid not to produce
again.
This is
again. It'd be interesting though. Are sales better in Europe or are they better in North America? And also like in Europe, I'm willing to say that the computer collections all sell better in Europe than they would here because the computer market was way better in Europe than it was here in the 80s.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. People most excited about Pico 4.
Well, people responded to their survey. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Really? Pico 4?
Yeah.
That's why you're right. They can't assume people like what you like, right? Like that's how I look at it.
Really, Pico 4? Yeah. That's right. I might have seen that, but Pico 4 over Sunsoft, I can't see that.
Thank you, Dan. I was going to say definitely the fact that they were sold out for the long. Rare that an Evercade card just is sold out and isn't available anywhere. I can't remember. Yeah, 100%. Dan.
Well, that's primarily because that hit channels that would not normally talk about Evercade because hey, these Nukem games are coming back, especially like Lazy Game Reviews, because he was involved in that, spouting that out, and he's got millions of. Is he up to 1 million subscribers?
That's why I think they should go
at least hundreds of thousands of subscribers know about that. Yeah,
I think they should try to get the Doom and Wolfenstein collections, the early collections. Like that would be a huge hit. They go grab that, right? Because that would bring in mainstream channels. Doom is still one of the most popular franchises out there, right?
Get your MS-DOS emulation up first, and then bring out those games, not ports of them for the PlayStation.
I mean, I had them running back in the day on Windows 3.1.
Yeah.
So, actually,
Windows 3.1.
You remember that shareware program? That's what I used to run them off of.
Yeah, there was shareware. Yeah.
Yeah, so they originally you had to have DOS, but once shareware came out, they used to come on these disks that they used to have them all on there, and you run on Windows 3.1.
Well, they would actually run them. They're still DOS. It's just
they're still DOS games, but you didn't have to go and do the DOS setup. It would just natively run.
I was so in tune with modifying my auto-exec files to run DOS games back in the day. Yeah. I used to have batch files.
If they got the Tekken game from PlayStation 1, that would be a huge hit because Tekken 8 is just almost a masterpiece of a game right now. Like, it's so amazing. And I can't play it anymore because I haven't finished Street Fighter 6 yet.
I was going to say, which one you like more, Street Fighter 6 or Tekken 8?
Dude, well, my heart is in both of them, right? Like,
yeah.
But I think Street Fighter 6 because I know I kept current with those characters, where Tekken 6 I'm not current with a lot of the new characters.
Yeah, around Tekken 6 is where I kind of lost track. I had
Tekken 3 is the last game I played.
Yeah, but they're like, I lost track too.
That's where they get characters like Lars Alexanderson, and I'm like, who's this guy?
But yeah, see, I'd love to see the Tekken series come to one of them anyway.
I would love to see the King's Quest if they add a friggin' mouse and keyboard. Then yes, that would be awesome.
That doesn't interest me, those games.
Well, maybe they're talking about the VGA remix because the originals you needed a keyboard to type in your commands.
Man, I think the Snoopy school games like Snoopy Math Builder, all the Snoopy games that came out when I was in elementary school and stuff, that would be awesome.
Mm.
You ever play those, or was it just a Canada thing? Snoopy had like 3 or 4.
I think I had
Sesame Street.
They were action games. Snoopy Math.
I had played a couple of those.
They were fun games, and you learned.
Yeah. What platform were these Snoopy games on?
I remember playing them on Apple computers. Maybe it was it was Apple computers and PC Junior, PC Junior game. You remember the PC Junior? IBM's low cost PC.
My only experience with Apple is like Apple IIe, and that was in computer lab at school. I never actually owned one of them, but I remember playing a lot of games in school on those things.
We had a
I used
2E
to play
clone
on
in
the
the house.
PC Junior a lot. That was like kind of made for the home, and they had a lot of cool games on it.
Hey, real quick, do you guys think an analog stick could replace a mouse for the point and click games? Would that help at all?
To be honest, I'd rather play with a D-pad because then at least I know where the cursor's going.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I think
I'm not a point and click guy. I never got into the Monkey Island games or.
I always like point and click
yeah.
games. I played all the Leisure Suit Larry games.
The Monkey Island, yeah, played that. Here's what, and I'm curious to see what you guys think. But I think with the Duke thing, and kind of like, Rich, I've noticed like a theme you keep hitting on, which is very valid, is you're saying like they're going to put out what they get. So here's what I think with the Duke 1 and 2. I think that Blaze was afraid just to release, let's say, like Duke 1 cart by itself with just the remasters. I think that they were like, well, we got to give somebody something else. And I think maybe when they went to the licensing, they're like, hey, we can give you all this. So I think they were going to do something with the other Dukes, and they're like, hey, we'll give you the PlayStation versions. And I think that's why it's spread out the way that it is, because they're going to do something with it. But I think honestly, if they had put Duke 1 on a cart by itself and they'd put Duke 2 on a second cart by, I think people still would have bought those. I still would have bought those collections.
Yeah, but that's because you're buying every collection.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, but I mean, I think the Dukes are that good. Like that, they've set the bar for that level of quality for a remaster, and I want that to continue. Like, I don't want that just to be a one-time thing.
Oh no, yeah, I definitely think that they should be, if they're going to do remasters, then yeah, they've set the bar for themselves.
I mean, again, we don't know if the licensing, if they're just like, hey, we'll go ahead and throw, we'll go ahead and throw all this in. But I think it kind of goes back to the quantity versus quality. Like, hey, if there are some like really, and I do don't get me wrong, I do love Discovery, but I think if it's like, I'm trying to say is that for some of these cards, like we don't need some filler games, right? Like, kind of like, I guess I'm happy to have Duke 3D, but if it wasn't there, I would be fine with it either way. You know what I mean? Like what? But then again, it's like, well, what if they just did those two and then they just put like the Game Boy Advance version on that cart? Then they missed out on selling another cart. So I don't know.
I like the fact that hey, they're two collections. They got 3 games apiece. Yeah, it makes sense. Like I'm all right with it.
It makes it even. But yeah, they're definitely going to put out what they have. I just think sometimes they just again, it kind of goes back to the controls, like with the point and click games. Like, I guess it's neat that those are there, but maybe they're looking to add like a mouse afterward. I will go back and play those games with with having this and seeing if they're better. I almost blinded myself with a laser. Snoopy Tennis. Yeah, but again, like, licensing. Or I guess they could get Snoopy Tennis and just like take Snoopy out of it, that the people might not like
random tennis.
But yeah, we definitely know the Duke games. I would be hard pressed to say that the arcade games do bad. I think those do very well. But so here's kind of the thing. Like, we need the retro to bring people in, but here's what I hate though. All the retro collections that I know brought me in are like legacy. So like we need some new, we need some new ones. I mean, like, like the Namco, Atari, Technos, like all that. I'd like to see, I don't know, maybe if there's enough demand, maybe they can go back to those licenses, maybe not. I don't know. I think this year we're definitely going to get a Data East 2 arcade and a Technos 2 arcade, because they've done the first ones. We have the right. I mean, doesn't that seem like a no-brainer to you guys?
I could see like that. I could see that happening.
How many more Technos arcade games are there?
Other than Double Dragon, there's got to be more, right? There's got to be more, right?
I would imagine.
If only I had a way to search and see.
I think we looked that up though. I'm pretty sure one day.
Yeah, I thought we did too.
I'd rather see Psycheo.
That would be fantastic. Well, we haven't seen more Japanese developers and all that, so maybe like Sunsoft, and maybe we will. That would be great.
Yeah.
I'm telling, definitely that would again, we don't know the numbers for Sunsoft, but I know like the Japanese developer collections. I would think those would sell well, right? I would think. is you hit on the point of like Blaster Master having the nostalgia, and then we have these other cards for the first time released over here. Some of them translated, or maybe they did, or maybe or maybe not. But yeah, that's.
I guess there's enough for another collection, maybe.
What's up?
Yeah, but I don't know how good these games are.
Yeah, Irem 2. Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
Like we should definitely see more of those. But yeah, I think we're impatiently like looking forward to the roadmap. But what excites me even more, the more arcade, I want to know, are they going to do a remaster this year? That's like the biggest thing.
I mean, well, I guess we're going to find out.
Yeah.
We'll find out soon enough. I mean, well, so and we're already at, carts shipping. So the end of the year is upon us, and we will be pre-ordering carts by next show anyway. So so this is the cycle, right? So by the time we get to this time next month, we're going to be talking about, I'm sure we're going to be talking about roadmap, and something else will drop. It's bound to, which is cool.
Oh,
that's cool.
Yeah, and the dude said he'd love to do. Yeah, no kidding. And then you have to have to wonder too, like, are the Duke remasters going to stay exclusive? Like, how long are they going to stay exclusive to Evercade, or are they going to be released to other platforms? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are we, otherwise we see like a bunch of YouTube videos, Evercade is going digital, like, would I put that as a thumbnail? Maybe if they did, but yeah.
Technically, the games are digital.
Right.
But yeah, digital only.
No, it's never going to happen.
Ed's suggestion for a capture device, mine looks like a butt.
What? What capture device?
Yeah.
Suggestion. He's looking for a suggestion for a capture device.
Oh, a suggestion.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what I use. I'm using this thing called a Unisheen capture device, and the reason I like it is because it's a standalone capture device. You don't need a computer or anything.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
You just plug it in, and you plug the HDMI input into it. You turn on the screen, and you hit record, and you don't need to worry about capture screwing up or your computer doing something to make it glitchy or anything.
What's it called?
Let me look it up, and I'll post a link to it.
I usually find like some kind of like knockoff with reviews, like around, I'll have to look at mine, but I think like if I didn't have that, like the Shadowcast 1 is like, that's like,
I'm not gonna lie though, it's not cheap, but it is very reliable.
I use a $15 HDMI to USB capture.
Exactly. Yeah.
I got it because it also has inputs for like composite and component and everything, so you can record
the one thing that I'll say that I recommend for like the cheaper capture cards, get one for the connections that has an innie and not an outie. And what I mean by that, like my older one, like the HDMI connection was male that stuck out, and that just after a while gets loose and like breaks off, versus like the innie won't. And, oh my god, I can't even say that with a straight face. But seriously though, and I think the reason for that is I used it a lot, like with the OG Evercade with the mini HDMI, and I was gonna say like tugging on the cord. Oh my god.
So
where's my mind going?
I like the there's one that Amazon sells. It's called the Mirabox, Mirabox. It's just like an inexpensive third party like rando capture box. I have 2 of them now. Because I was trying to capture footage off of a device that has HDCP protection. And I wound up finding out that this particular device, once I hook it up, it bypasses that, so you can still capture.
Actually,
pretty fantastic. So
yeah, but what I used was a splitter, because some splitters stripped out the signal, but didn't say that it did. So that's what I used for that.
Yeah.
Does your capture will it do an EXP? I guess that's the.
What do you mean?
What,
Because a lot of capture cards aren't compatible with the EXP.
My capture card works fine.
Because
Yeah, all you
never
gotta do is
heard
run
of
it
that.
through a mini to HDMI.
Yeah.
And it should work.
Yeah.
Then I may have to try that because it'll work. Mine will work great on the TV, but it does not work at all.
Yeah. So here's my adapter here. That's somewhere floating around on the screen.
Yeah, mine. Yeah,
weird,
exactly.
right?
No, and that's why Blaze even said that they had to change or they had to go with like a different chipset.
Yeah, no, mine works
irritated
fine.
me, but that's
mine works fine.
Yeah,
with this particular one.
Yeah, no, the VS is great, and that's why I don't like about certain collections being trapped in other devices. I have a super chat. Thank you, SNK EV411. Love your channel. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you. You just made my day. Thank you so much.
Oh yeah, I looked into the Cloner Alliance one too.
The what?
The Cloner Alliance 4K. I didn't need 4K. So
yeah. Shadowcast is like that, and there's a Shadowcast and Shadowcast 2, and those are like $30 and $50, and especially the first one is supposed to be more compatible. But yeah,
very cool.
Crow, are you still trying to figure out what your capture card is?
I posted a link in the chat.
Did you win?
Yeah. I don't see it.
A couple minutes ago.
I don't see it.
YouTube blocked
it.
YouTube
it probably got blocked. Here, I'll put it in the chat then, in our private thing, I think.
Yeah, you can throw it up in there.
Private chat. There.
Worse.
And it's funny, it's like you mentioned Cloner Alliance, and I think Cloner Alliance has exactly the same thing that I just posted. It's just got their label on it instead, but it's exactly the same device. So
I'll share this out. Good God, that's expensive, but it looks really cool though. Here,
but I like it because like I don't need to rely on my computer to do it. That's how I was able to play and capture.
What is it? Put everything on an SD card?
You can put an SD card or a flash drive.
Nice. It's pretty cool, actually.
Nice.
Actually, it'll record up to 4 gigs. Like the files can go 4 gigs in size, and then it'll create a new file. And I've only had to deal with that once, but like the space between the files is pretty minimal. You're only gonna lose a couple frames.
Nice.
No, that is
like
really,
I was literally cool. Recording for like 4 hours before I hit the 4 gig limit.
That's awesome, though.
Now, if you could tie that device into StreamYard, then that would be pretty cool.
An Elgato USB type, because the other capture device I have is actually an Elgato, just an Elgato. Was it? I can't remember what it's called. The Capture Pro or something. It's not the 4K version, but it's an internal card. So I do have another one that I bought off of Temu, and I never tested it. I just bought it because it was extremely cheap. Let's see if it's right here. Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are...
Yeah, I bought this one. I don't know anything about it. It was just really cheap, and I never used it.
If you're looking for... And I have not personally used this, but from like other YouTubers, like the Shadowcast, and there's a Shadowcast 2. It's supposed to be a good cheaper one, depending on what you're looking for.
Actually, it doesn't feel that bad. It feels like this is like aluminum.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll throw the one that I have in there.
Yeah. I can't remember the one. Like I said, it was some like off-brand, like probably a clone. I'd have to like look through my.
Well, my problem was the main reason I went with this Unishine one is because I was using the Elgato caption. I was using OBS, and it just didn't matter if I was using Elgato software or OBS software, but it would always the sound would always go out of sync. It would go out of sync, in sync, so I couldn't even just like readjust the audio because it was just annoying. So like I'd have to sync it up in sections and stuff, and it was really annoying.
Oh, Eligato, do the roboto.
And it's just that it was fine for like
this
modern stuff. It was just the older stuff that
I've seen. Okay, Mirror Box. I've seen this, and I've seen a lot of clones of this, and that's good. That's good to know that it works.
Yeah, this is the one that I use.
Okay.
I'm literally looking at mine right now.
Okay.
And then there's a second one. I have a second one, and like I said, it's because I was trying to do some game capture off of a Amazon Fire Stick, and the Amazon Fire Stick natively has HDCP, but this will strip it, and you can be able to get the footage off the games.
I just posted mine in there too, the one I use.
Nice. What's this?
What? Characters to be human? Come on.
That's
because I've
probably
clicked on too many links.
It was
Really?
Yeah, I have to enter it in.
New Bowl. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, so that's probably let me share.
That's like one of the ones that I use for on the go stuff.
So and this has an INI too, and that's what I mean. Like you don't you just plug in this and then you plug in your HDMI cable. Yeah, no, this is I use something similar to this, and that's really all that you need is just some cheap capture device, especially like for Evercade and all that.
Yeah, I paid like $15 for this Canadian when I bought it, and that's what I was playing with today when you guys were watching. It does great.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, that's all you need. I use something like that.
Yeah. Yeah. When I'm in this studio, anytime you see any kind of game footage, it's going through that same capture card.
What's funny is like when I was streaming Evercade, I was actually capturing it on a separate device that I was streaming it on. Because while I was streaming the game through the Elgato device, I was capturing it on the Unishine device.
Nice.
That's actually cool. Like StreamYard I was like, StreamYard will do that for you to the cloud. But yeah. Actually, that is the case. The reason why the flashing sprites vanish is because it's only capturing at 30 frames a second. You want something that captures at 60 frames a second, and then the sprites won't vanish. And you know what? I was gonna say, like, I know, like, in OBS, I had to change the settings to like the highest frame rate, or at least to 60. To kind of fix that problem
60
too.
frames a second. You won't get, because when you're watching somebody play a game and the sprite vanishes and it's really blinking, that means that they're only either capturing or putting out the video at 30 frames a second instead of 60.
Yeah. Unless it's a game where it's supposed to do that, like volleyball in the Technos collection. Not volleyball, dodgeball. Yeah, dodgeball on the Technos. Like that has a lot of flickering sprites. But I know what you mean. Like, just that used to happen with my capture card. They would just disappear.
Yeah, that's a different kind of flickering, though. That's
I know.
Due to the sprite limit being the flickering he's talking about is like when the like invincibility or something like that, where like it was intentional.
Mm-hmm.
But also too, Taz, if you want to do streaming, I forget that's what changed my life. What's the name of that splitter that you recommended, Rich?
Which one? The resplitter, the one I sent you there?
The one that has its own power. I forget what it's.
Yeah. Here, I'll send you that one.
My Namira box. There's probably, that's probably like a.
Oh, you know what? Actually,
there's probably like multiple versions of that, just rebranded with different names on it. Probably.
Yes, I would be 100% certain that is a thing.
I still have them. Yeah, this. Yeah, I would say Ryu. No, this changed my life because I get no lag. It has its own power. Like it's a real splitter.
Yep.
There'll be some of them out there where they'll claim to do that, but then it's actually a switcher. Or the funny thing is they advertise with like it's not an extender. I'm like, I know, I want it to be a splitter. So yeah, it's good to, and that was only like $15, but and that's why sometimes when I say like I can literally just power my VS, put in the game, and I'm good to go. Like I don't have to. There's like literally no setup because of that, which is I have everything prepped. I have OBS the way I want it. I have StreamYard the way I want it. Someday I'll mess with pumping the audio, but sometimes I'm just like, maybe I should be making a video. I'm like, no, I just want to stream and blow off some steam.
Yep.
That rhymes. All right. Do we want to? No, this has all been awesome, and we're at the hour 40 minute. Do you guys want to go into final thoughts? Yeah. Want to plug your channels, and we can call it a day. And
well,
not that I'm trying to put off doing yard work today or anything.
I gotta get going.
My wife didn't hear that.
Yard work. There's snow underground over here.
It's gotten nice over here in Texas.
Well, for me, I'm gonna be running around with this thing.
Oh yeah.
And the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm probably gonna do I don't know, maybe I'll do a video or something. And I'm gonna plug this thing into, because it's HyperCAN. I'm gonna plug it into the Retron and see what happens.
Do they sell a wireless, or did that come with a wireless adapter?
It is wireless. It's Bluetooth.
Ah, okay, yeah.
So,
but like, you know, like how 8BitDo have like their own thing, so you could like plug it into like the Evercade and use it wirelessly.
Yeah, it doesn't have a dongle, no.
Oh, okay. Still cool though.
But yes, it is still cool. And but yeah, so I'm gonna plug this into the Retron 5 and see if it likes it, and if it does, then that'll be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Because then I'll probably use that, because this is I think this is, well, it's way more comfortable than this thing, for sure. Because this thing is the controller that comes with the Retron 5. It is.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's
not
great.
It's one of the worst controllers ever.
It's not amazing.
Cool,
so
Taz.
this is way better. Way
better. Oh yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna try that, and if it does, then this will be the official Retron 5 controller for me, and then I'll be ready for doing things like playing that game right up there.
I have to start entering more of those contests. I did like whenever you would tag me, I would see like for the
yeah, you gotta enter, man. You gotta be in it to win it.
For like the monthly game boxes.
Yeah.
And that's how you got Blaster Master too.
That's right. I won Blaster Master via one of those things. I've won on Video Games Monthly 3 times in 4 years. So, I mean, it happens. They just pull your name randomly. So,
yeah. Are you gonna start completion quest next week, or are you waiting to do Full Void first? Okay, sweet.
This happens first.
Okay, cool.
I keep threatening it. It's gonna.
I know,
happen.
right?
So first things first, though. First things first. I have to find out where it is. Because I opened this one, I'm like, oh, so I'm just gonna put it in the VS and I'll start playing. And I opened it. It's like, where is it?
We're gonna get to the point to where I'll play it before you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, true.
I do have my secret weapon though. So even before I do anything, I mean, I do literally have another copy.
Okay, good. That's what I was just gonna ask you.
Yeah, that really bothers me that they put the Peggy logo all over that thing.
So, but that's me. That's, you know, we're playing games over here.
Cool.
And so look forward to that. Oh no.
Yeah, I'm
Bro, what do you guys got going on?
I got games. I got videos coming up. That's about it.
Well, I just finished Sunsoft, so I might be filming something for that tomorrow. But in the meantime, I have to edit the footage that I just captured for Arrow the Acrobat, and that's like 6 hours of footage. So
it might have.
But I last time I streamed on Sunday, I made a tournament for Pinball FX, and people seem to like that, so I might make another one, and I'm just going to post the code for it in my community tab on YouTube. That's where I posted it last time, so I have to get around to making those tournaments. I'll probably have to do that today before I forget again.
You can challenge the Mighty Crow and try to beat his score. That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm actually
guys. Bye.
All right.
Yeah.
It's like I'm leaving now. But yeah,
and cool. I guess so. For me, next, like Pete said, I have videos. I'm not sure. I still need to follow up, and even though I haven't been able to complete Good Boy Galaxy, I need to do my 2 weeks later on that. I still need to go ahead and take apart the At Games Ledger Mini and film that, and then see if just resetting all the connections, if that will work with my VS again without having like the disconnections or stick drift, and I'll use that to play arcade games. And then there's also the Duke 2, the ongoing saga for that. I'm sure I'll be doing more live streaming. That's kind of where I'm at. One of those things, because we'll be getting the new carts hopefully soon, and I think that's where I stand.
Very cool.
Yeah. And all that, and then maybe not this week since we did Karg. Who knows? Definitely like the week after that. Hopefully we'll do another Karg.
That's right.
Like Archer Gamers, and also for those of you who do watch or into our secondary channel, we do also talk a lot as the nickname's Evercast. We also talk like Evercade stuff. So it's like if you can't get enough of us here, go over there. And the only thing I will tell you is we are nearing like 500 subs.
Yep.
And afterwards, me and Rich I'm not going to say what we had some like very cool like conversations. We had some very cool conversations on what we would offer for membership. So like this will be different. Like
yeah, we're having
I'm talking like something like really cool that I think people would like if you're into that type of thing. So we'll slowly but surely content will start going over there. We haven't forgotten about Karg. It's just the stars haven't aligned, and we do keep threatening to do things, but we really will.
That's right. Yeah, we're having fun over there.
Yeah. If we're pretty much done here, I'm going to thank my channel members, and I was going to say if Mr. Shua and Crashline, if you're around, who did recently upgrade to the director level, I did something special for you guys. So if you're still here, you will see that, or really anybody who does at the director level just for the fun of it. Like why not? Oh hey, iHeartRadio coming in at the last minute. That's awesome. Thanks everybody. I just want to say, be sure if you haven't subbed all of our channels. It really helps. It really helps us out spreading the awesomeness. We really appreciate everything. And bye-bye. Thank you so much, Crashline and Mr. Shua.